For many Americans, the protests about police brutality and systemic racism are a reminder that we have been here before. As part of tonight's CBS News special, we're calling it Justice for All. I sat down with the mother of Amadou Diallo. You may remember this story. Back in 1999, Diallo, a 23-year-old immigrant from West Africa, was shot and killed by 4 New York City police officers at his apartment building. They fired 41 shots. Amadou Diallo was unarmed. Then Mayor Rudy Giuliani, at the time, called the shooting a great tragedy. Well, in the years since his death, his mother has become an activist working to improve relations between police and the community. She told me that hearing the news of George Floyd's death felt like she was reliving what happened to her son. At the end of his life, he is calling out for his mama.
And every mother heard him. We hear him.
We did hear him.
We heard George Floyd. We hear him.
Kadiatou Diallo was pained when she heard about the death of George Floyd.
As the mother of Amadou Diallo, having to suffer my loss on February 4th, 1999, my wound was open again.
On a busy corner of the Bronx, a street sign signals a story from another time, one that shook New York to its core.
The last time we spoke was on January 31st, 1999. They said, "Mom, I'm so happy." He said, "I have finally saved enough money and I'm going to college."
And he was so proud of himself.
Absolutely.
4 days later, Kadiatou's phone rang again. It was a relative.
They said it was shooting, and then they said it was by the police. I dropped the phone.
Police said they were searching for a rape suspect and came upon Diallo. Thinking he was reaching for a gun, they opened fire. 4 white officers.
Guys, anyone like to make a statement here?
5'6", 150-pound Amadou, 41 shots. Turns out he was unarmed. He was reaching for a wallet.
The problem was reaching for a gun is a perception. They saw this black man in the vestibule. He had no criminal record. He never even had a traffic ticket in New York City. Retelling this story today is breaking my heart.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because Amadou was this young, generous person. When you see him, when you have chance to meet my child.
Mrs. Diallo, I'm so sorry. It's breaking all of our hearts hearing this story again. I have to say I was very touched by her. There's something about hearing a mother say, "When you meet my child," if you knew my child when she's talking about a grown-up, that touched me in a very special way. It is heartbreaking. We should also tell you that all 4 officers involved in Amadou Diallo's death were ultimately acquitted of second-degree murder charges. And Tony, the thing that struck out to me, she had never spoken to the media before, so imagine what it was like in 1999. You get off this plane to Africa, you're shoved in front of TV cameras, and she said, "I just wanted people to know my son." He was described as a street peddler. She said he spoke 5 languages. He was well-traveled. He was working a bunch of odd jobs to go to college, and he had just raised $9,000. So she wanted people to understand the narrative of who her son was. She described as a dreamer,
Yeah, the context is everything here. We are just over 2 weeks from the death of George Floyd. She's 21 years on from the death of her son. You can see it's still with her. And it's a reminder, as we see people protesting in the streets today, that there is a long, long river of loss on this story. And that's why there's a big effort today to finally put an end to it, Gayle.
Yeah, because many people feel things really haven't changed so much. The primetime special, as I told you, we're calling it Justice for All, airs tonight at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS.